Hey everybody, I'm Specialist Tagle, and today I will be presenting CIT task to unload an M16 series rifle or M4 series carbine. Task number 071-Charlie Oscar Mike-0027. I am in study group 1, BLC class 003-22. My instructor is Staff Sergeant Vigil, and the date is January 21st, 2022. So we'll be going over our tasks, conditions, and standards. Our task is to unload an M16 series rifle or M4 series carbine. Our conditions: you have just returned from a mission and have been directed to unload your M16 series rifle or M4 series carbine. Standards: unload the M16 series rifle or M4 series carbine so that the magazine and all ammunition are removed from the weapon. Our risk assessment today. So our risk assessment is low. The environmental factors. Presentation will be held indoors. Weather conditions will not be a factor. The room is well ventilated. Pets are well behaved and properly trained. And the kids and wife will not interfere with this presentation today. Our safety procedures: in case of an active shooter, I will exercise my Second Amendment with this right here. In case of fire, we will move away from the fire towards one of the exits. And all information in today's presentation is unclassified. And all the information that I will be presenting today, you can get from your Warrior Skills Level 1 book. Again, this information is unclassified. So now, I will be demonstrating the task at a standard level, and we'll be going over the performance steps. There's 6 in total and 8 sub-steps for 2 of those steps. I will be going over each one in detail. We'll start with number 1. And before we go on, I'm sorry, this is not an M4 M16. For the purpose of this demonstration, I will be using my personal weapon, which is a Diamondback DB15 AR style rifle. It is also carbine, so it goes perfect along with the demonstration. And I am a lefty, so please excuse me when I'm switching back and forth. All right, so performance steps. Number 1, always point the weapon muzzle in a safe direction, which I have been right here. Easiest step, I'd say. Step number 2, place the selector lever on safe. So as you can see, it is on safe, as it always should be. And there's a side note for this step. If the weapon is not cocked, you cannot place the selector lever on safe. So just keep that in mind. Step number 3, remove the magazine. We do that by pressing this button right here, releasing the magazine. All right, cool. Step number 4 is to lock the bolt open. So there's 4 sub-steps for that. So we're gonna first pull the charging handle to the rear, right here. We're gonna press the bottom portion of the bolt catch, locking the bolt open. That's gonna be right here. All right. And then we're gonna return the charging handle to the forward position, right there. And then we're gonna place the selector lever on safe, which again, it already is placed on safe, as it always should be. And a side note for that last sub-step: if the weapon was cocked before locking the bolt open, then the selector lever should already be on safe, hence. Step number 5, ensure that no ammunition is in the receiver or in the chamber. So we're gonna go ahead and check right here, star chamber, and we're gonna go ahead and check the receiver, and we're gonna check the magazine well. It doesn't mention magazine well, but we always do that in the field, so it's just a habit. And we're gonna go ahead, not only check, but we're gonna go ahead and insert one of our fingers into the magazine well, the receiver, and the chamber to make sure that there's no obstacles lodged in there or any bullet casings, anything of the sort, to make sure that there's nothing, no obstacles in either of those sections. So now that we ensured that there's no ammunition in any of those locations, we're gonna go ahead and move on to step number 6. Return the bolt to the closed position. There's 4 sub-steps to that. So the first one is to press the upper portion of the bolt catch, allowing the bolt to go forward. So that's gonna be this one right here, as you can see. So I'm gonna go ahead and press that and you'll hear the bolt go forward. All right, second sub-step to that is to place the selector lever on semi. So we're gonna go ahead and move the selector right here. And we're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger to release the pressure on the firing pin spring. Y'all heard that? And the last step is to close the ejection port cover. So we're gonna flip it around here again, and we're gonna go ahead and close that. That is the official last step according to the TN of this. But since we're on the subject, we're gonna go ahead and perform a functions check because I feel it ties hand in hand with unloading your ammunition and performing a functions check after, before, and during your missions. So we're gonna go ahead and perform a functions check real quick to make sure that the weapon is properly functioning, because in real life scenarios, it is very, very vital that you perform function checks before mission and after mission to make sure that your weapon is properly functioning. If not, you don't wanna be in a situation where it is not because you didn't check it and you're screwed. Nobody wants to be there. So functions check is gonna be task number 071-Charlie Oscar Mike-0029, and we're gonna go over it real briefly. And we're gonna start off, so we never wanna leave the selector lever on fire, never, or semi. Never, 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 that's a bad thing. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the rear charging handle to the rear. We're gonna go ahead and place it on safe, all right? We're gonna go ahead and put that. So once we make sure that the selector is on safe, we're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger. It should not go back to make sure that our safety is working, okay? So that is done. Safe works. So now we're gonna go ahead, select it back to fire or semi, all right? And then we're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger and make sure we hear that click once more. So we hear the click, but we do not want to let go of the trigger once we hear that click. What we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and pull the charging handle to the rear again and release while holding on to the trigger still. And we're going to release and listen for a metallic click. There it is. So that ensures that it is a proper functions check and our weapon is functioning. So now that we made sure that it is functioning correctly, we're gonna go ahead and put this baby back on safe here. In order to do that, we gotta charge the handle one more time. Pull the charging handle to the rear, release, put it on safe now that it is cocked. Remember, one of the steps is that you cannot put it on safe if it is not cocked. For the purpose of this demonstration, we will not be able to go over the last steps of a functions check due to civilian weapons not being able to go fully or on burst because it's not allowed. This is not an M16 or M4 that's Army issued or government issued, so we won't be able to do it. So that's gonna be the end of the functions check. Weapon is back on safe, as you can see. Muzzle is still pointed down. Safe, always treat the weapon as if it's loaded. One of the 4 safety gun rules. So now that we have done an unloading and a functions check, we're gonna go ahead and go over risk assessment and after action report. So the after action report, I have reviewed and demonstrated how to properly unload the M16 series rifle or M4 series carbine according to task number 071-Charlie Oscar Mike-0027. Additional references required are the TC 3-22.9, which is the rifle and carbine, and the TM 9-1005-319-10, which is the operator's manual for rifle and carbine. And we have here all weapons, ammunition, and magazines have been accounted for. Of course, we used no live rounds for training purposes and safety purposes. So, safe on that. And the risk assessment is still low. No injuries or death did occur during the presentation. So, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this demonstration and presentation. Again, all information was unclassified. And going back to the Warrior Skills Handbook Level 1, you will be able to review all the information that I have demonstrated and presented to you today in this book right here. I am Specialist Tagle. Thank you for tuning in to my demonstration and presentation, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.